If you are looking for a 10-inch Android tablet, you have a lot of choices right now. Very interesting ones are the Lenovo Tab 410 Plus and the Huawei MediaPad M3 Lite 10. I reviewed both already, and while they're not as good as the Samsung Galaxy Tab S3, they are a lot cheaper and offer good value for your money. Which one is the best? That's what you will find out in my comparison. Let's take a look at prices before we compare all the features. Since the Lenovo Tab 410 Plus is not widely available yet, I will compare the European pricing. At least the relationship between those prices should be very similar no matter where you're from. The Huawei MediaPad M3 Lite 10 starts at 279 euros. For that you get a Snapdragon 435, 3GB of RAM and 32GB of internal storage. It seems like Huawei will be offering a version with just 2GB of RAM and 16GB of storage in some countries. Both tablets have a 10.1-inch Full HD screen. Starting at 299 euros, the Lenovo Tab 410 Plus is a bit more expensive. Here we are getting a Snapdragon 625, 3GB of RAM and 16GB of internal storage. For 50 euros more, you can get 4GB of RAM and a 64GB internal storage. You can get both tablets with integrated 4G LTE as well. Let's start our comparison with the design and build quality. I like the design of both tablets actually. They are a bit different but look quite nice. You can get both in black and white, but Huawei will be offering a gold version as well. Even though both have a 10.1-inch display, the Lenovo Tab 410 Plus is a couple of millimeters taller and wider. It's also 15 grams heavier. Both are relatively thin though, at around 7 millimeters. The Tab 410 Plus has a plastic frame and a glass back, while the Huawei has a metal frame and plastic back. Even though both are solid, I like the build quality of the MediaPad M3 Lite 10 a bit more. Thanks to its aluminum frame, it feels a bit more high-end. Both tablets feature a microSD card slot, so you can expand the storage yourself. Since you can get both with LTE as well, those versions have a SIM card slot as well. And yes, both have a standard 3.5mm audio jack. There are differences with the USB ports. While we're getting a USB Type-C port with the Lenovo, the M3 Lite 10 has the older micro USB port. You can connect USB accessories like USB sticks and hard drives to both though. I don't think cameras are that important on a tablet, but there are some minor differences here. While both have an 8-megapixel camera on the back, only the Tab 410 Plus has an LED flash. The front-facing camera on the Huawei has a high resolution at 8 megapixels. On the Tab 410 Plus, it's a 5-megapixel camera only. As you might expect, the cameras are not as good as on high-end smartphones, but both are fine for snapshots and video calls using Skype or other apps. They do not support 4K video, by the way. I really like that both tablets have an integrated fingerprint reader. I don't want to miss this feature on any device anymore. They work fine on both, but are not as fast as on recent smartphones like my Huawei P10. There is a noticeable difference between these fingerprint sensors though. While the one from Lenovo is just that, a fingerprint reader, the one from Huawei does support gestures. With those you can replace the home, back and recent button. That works really well. It's a bit disappointing that the one from Lenovo is not at least a home button, but I really like the gestures from Huawei. In case good sound is important to you, there is one clear winner. While the Lenovo has 2 okay front-facing speakers, the MediaPad M3 Lite 10 has 4. They are louder and offer a noticeably better sound. In fact, at this price range they are one of the best speakers I ever reviewed. The displays on both tablets are very similar. They are 10.1-inch screens with an aspect ratio of 16:10. Both are IPS panels with a Full HD resolution at 1920 by 1200. I'm sure owners will be happy with both, but if you compare them directly, there are a couple of differences. Lenovo's screen seems to be a bit brighter. It's a bit easier to read sometimes in direct sunlight. On the other hand, the display of the M3 Lite 10 offers a better contrast. Colors look a bit nicer. The viewing angles are very similar though. There are huge differences when it comes to performance. While both offer 3GB of RAM, the Lenovo Tab 410 Plus has a much faster Qualcomm Snapdragon 625. The MediaPad M3 Lite 10 is shipping with a weaker Snapdragon 435. In benchmarks, those performance differences are very clear. In Geekbench 4, the Tab 4 10 Plus gets 870 and 4350 points. With the M3 Lite 10, the same benchmark gets only 660 and 2850 points. On the Antutu benchmarks, 62,400 points are clearly better than the 46,840 points with the Huawei. While both tablets run smoothly doing normal use like browsing the web or watching YouTube videos, there are differences when it comes to gaming. As you might expect, the Tab 4 10 Plus performs much better as a gaming tablet. In fact, for some reason Mortal Kombat 5 always crashes when I want to play it on the M3 Lite. So, if you plan to do a lot of gaming, the Lenovo Tab 4 10 Plus will be the better choice for you. The Snapdragon 435 on the Huawei is just not powerful enough. While Android 7.0 Nougat runs on the Huawei MediaPad M3 Lite 10, we are getting Android 7.1.1 Nougat on the Lenovo Tab 4 10 Plus. So it's a bit more recent version of Android, but not a huge difference. In fact, if you always want to use the latest version of Android, both tablets are probably not for you. It's kind of sad, but Lenovo and Huawei have not been great when it comes to updates for their tablets. The ones they released last year are still running Marshmallow. In the past they did release updates now and then, but very sporadically. To be honest, I don't expect any of these to ever get a huge version update. I would love to be surprised though. Well, it's not too bad. Nougat is a solid and stable operating system. It works great on both tablets, including all the special features like the split screen view. You can open two apps side by side on both without any problems. There are big differences when it comes to their customizations. Lenovo is basically shipping vanilla Android. There's not much they changed. One custom feature is the productivity mode. If you activate it, Android looks a bit more like a desktop operating system. It's easier to use it with a keyboard and mouse that way. Huawei did customize Android a lot more. On top of Nougat runs the Emotion UI in version 5.1. The design is customized quite a lot and you can customize it yourself. There are tons of themes you can download and there are many apps pre-installed. Sometimes the interface from Huawei can seem a bit overloaded, but on the other hand, there are a couple of nice features. One of those is the gesture support for the fingerprint reader that I mentioned earlier. Let's take a look at the battery life. While the M3 Lite 10 has a capacity of 6600 mAh, the Tab 4 10 Plus is a bit bigger with 7000 mAh. In my battery test, the Lenovo did indeed last longer. It got a runtime of 12 hours, while the M3 Lite 10 lasted 10 hours and 45 minutes. If you've seen reviews from me in the past, I'm always doing the same battery test by running an HD video at 50% brightness and activated Wi-Fi until the tablet shuts itself off. In my everyday use, the battery of the Tab 4 10 Plus lasted longer as well. I'm pretty sure that both tablets will last most users about 2 days in normal use though. Both tablets don't charge as fast as modern smartphones that support the latest quick charging technology, but even though the Tab 4 10 Plus has a bigger battery, it tends to charge a bit faster. So, which tablet is the best and which one can I recommend? Well, both are actually very nice tablets. It really depends on what you are looking for. Do you mostly want to watch movies and TV shows? Then the MediaPad M3 Lite 10 is probably better for you. It has a bit nicer display and noticeably better speakers. On the other hand, if you want as much performance as possible, the Lenovo Tab 4 10 Plus is the clear winner. It simply has a much faster processor and the battery life is better as well. Alright, this is my comparison between the Lenovo Tab 4 10 Plus and Huawei MediaPad M3 Lite 10. If you have any questions, just write them down below. I'm NJ for mynexttablet.com. Thanks for watching.